Hey y'all, I'm back again. Let's look at these pork chops. Oh my goodness, do they not look good? Let me show them to you. I cooked these on 300 for 1 hour, covered in the foil the whole time. I didn't take the foil off. We're going to cook them now for a minute without the foil, but I cooked them the whole time with the foil on there. Didn't look good. And I'm going to tell you, I pulled a little piece off of it here and already tasted it. They taste perfect, but I will tell you they could use a little bit more salt. So I'm fixing to go ahead and do that right now. That's nothing that we can't fix. You know, I always say I'd rather not have enough than too much. So I'm going to put a little smidge or sprinkle of salt over them. And there'll probably be some in our sauce too. And I think I'll go ahead and do a little bit of pepper. I love pepper. Okay, that should do it. Alright, so now what we're going to do is make up our little sauce that we're going to pour over them. Y'all know I like to use this liquid, so I'm going to just pour. I don't know that we're going to use all of it. And I don't know that you'll need to use all of yours. You may have more or less, vice versa, than I do. So just it's all just going to depend once we get it out here and I kind of look at it, because we only have 4 chops here, so we're not going to need that much sauce. Now, I don't like a thick barbecue sauce, so I like doing stuff like this because it kind of thins it up a little bit. Kind of helps thin it out, I guess you could say. Alright, so got that. Let's see here. I don't think we're going to use all of that because I've got some more liquid I need to add. Where's my bowl? Right here. Alright, so this is about almost half a cup of liquid. So I'm going to pour that down to about, I don't know, not much, because like I said, I'm going to add something else. Just a little bit. Y'all just eyeball it however much you think you want, and it's all going to depend on how much you have. So I've got that, and then I'm just going to just use a jar or a bottle sauce. You use whatever kind you want. This is just the original. Any of it works. I'm just going to squeeze some in. Let's see here. Let's see how much that is. Smells good. I'm going to do a little bit more. Okay. So you can see now it's kind of thickened up, but I got one other thing that I love to add to my barbecue sauce anytime I use it. Is same thing I add in my chili, some beer. If you've never had barbecue sauce mixed with beer, it is so good. The alcohol cooks out. It does not taste like beer. It just does something for that barbecue sauce. I don't know what it is. Now, of course, we're not going to use this whole thing. This is just the smallest individual beer that you can buy, or that I'm aware of. I went through the drive-through window is what it gave me anyway. So now I'm just going to pour some of that in there. I know it's kind of silly to buy that big thing for that much, but I like it. Oh, that was cold, and now that oil in there is kind of hardened up. That's okay. Let's see. Maybe I'll do a little tad bit more. Even if we don't use all this sauce, I want it to be the right consistency. And that brown sugar that's on the pork chops, that's what helps kind of caramelize them like that. And that's kind of how I like my sauce to do. I like for it to kind of be caramelized on there, not just saturated. You know what I mean? Okay, I think we're just going to go with that. And I'm not going to taste it because it's not going to taste the same after it cooks anyway, so there's really no point in it. Just take a guess. And now if you don't want to do the beer, just do your liquid from here and your barbecue sauce, okay? No harm done there. Whichever you want to do. Alright, so now I'm just going to pour that over our pork chops. You know, these will be good just like this without even doing the sauce. I tell you, they're good. Alright, that's about all of it. I think we're going to go with that. Let's see here. Just kind of shake it around a little bit, get that up under there. Now this is what they look like. We're going to pop these back in the oven on 300 uncovered. And I'm not sure how long we're going to cook them, but that'll give us plenty of time to make us up some broccoli and cheese. That's what else we're going to have with this. But anyway, let me get these in the oven, kind of straighten up, and I'll come back and we're going to get us some broccoli going. Okay, let's get our broccoli going. So I have just a little bit of water in here. I mean, not much at all. That may be 1/3 of a cup or so, maybe 1/2 a cup. And I have this much broccoli, but I don't want the broccoli to be covered in the water. I just want it to be enough to where it steams a little bit. Now, I do have a little steamer pot and all that, but I'm not going to get that out. I'm just going to do it this way. But if you want to steam it the original way, you certainly can. I put about 1 tablespoon of butter in there, and now I'm going to add in a little bit of salt. Okay. And then I'm just going to toss our broccoli in. Just like that. Let's see here. Let me find us a little spoon of some sort. I'm just going to kind of stir this around a little bit. Let all that broccoli get good and coated. You know it's going to cook way down. Yep, just like that. That's how I want it to be. Alright, I'm just going to pop a lid on this. I'm going to turn it down a little bit, since I don't have no more water than that in there. Let's see how it looks. And now I'm just going to, and I know y'all know how to make this. This isn't really no recipe, but I just thought while our pork chops were finishing up, we'd just do this together. Alright, so I'm just going to let that steam for just a little bit, and then we will get our cheese sauce made up, and we'll about have this thing made up, y'all. Alright, let's look at our broccoli. It's probably been steaming about 5-6 minutes. So, see? One come out like this little method works so good, y'all. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to turn it off, and I'm going to pop the lid on it and let it just sit here for a second. There's hardly any water left in there. The little bit that's left, I am going to get it out, but I'm going to wait a minute. I'm still waiting on our chops. They weren't cooking as quick as I wanted them to, so I've cranked them up on 350. You know, we put them in there on 300, so now I've cranked them up on 350, so we're not in any rush to get this broccoli done. So that's why I'm just going to turn it off and let it sit here a minute. You really wouldn't even have to pour this through a strainer. You could definitely just take your lid, you know, and tilt it over, because there's probably just a couple of tablespoons of water left in there. But it's easier to melt your cheese without having your broccoli in there to have to keep stirring and stirring and stirring. I would rather just have the cheese in there alone to get it melted, and then toss the broccoli back in. So I am going to pour it in a strainer here in a second, just for that reason only. But if I were just wanting to eat like a steamed, seasoned broccoli, I wouldn't even worry about pouring it through a strainer. But I've got my cheese here. I've got everything ready to go. I'm just waiting on those chops. I think now they're cooking good. Yeah, they're cooking better now. I hadn't looked at them. I didn't know that they were just kind of sitting there not doing much. I think I'd turned my oven off and it cooled down. But anyway, we'll get it. And I'll be back, y'all. Okay, our pork chops are going now. So we're going to go ahead with our broccoli. I just poured it in my strainer. And then in this little bowl here, I have 1 tablespoon of butter. And how much? 2 ounces of Velveeta cheese. 2 ounces. So I'm just going to pop that in here and let it kind of start melting. And I'm going to add in just a little bit of heavy cream. Now you can do milk, you don't have to add any at all. If you didn't pour it through the strainer, you could actually just leave that little bit of water in there and that would work just fine too. But I have this, so I'm just going to put a little splash in. I mean, that may be a tablespoon or two. We might have to add a little more, but we're going to just start with that. I'm just going to let this melt. We'll toss our broccoli back in. I love broccoli and cheese, don't y'all? And the thing is, like, if I do like just a steamed broccoli where I'm just going to have it plain, I like to season it up really good with like some garlic. I think I will put a little garlic or garlic salt and stuff in here, but if I'm just having it steamed without the cheese, I'll do like a I don't know, like a steakhouse seasoning type deal, and I like it to be a little bit more crunchy. I just like it barely cooked. But now whenever I do it with cheese, I like to have it a softer texture. How do y'all like yours? Do you like it different textures depending on how you're eating it, or how do you like it? And if I'm roasting it or sauteing it up or something like that, without cheese, I like for it to be a little bit more crunchy. But anyway, I'm just going to let this get melted down, and we'll get our broccoli back in here. Okay, I'll put our broccoli back in, and we're going to just season it up, just the basic season. I'm going to do a little bit of pepper, and I think since I salted that water just a little bit, I'm going to do some garlic salt instead of salt. If it needs a little salt, we'll add it, but I'm going to start with this. Okay. That looked good, y'all. I did end up adding a couple more tablespoons of that heavy cream. That cheese was a little thick whenever it was melting. Okay. Doesn't that look good, y'all? It's just how I like it, just like that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop a lid on this, let it sit here for just a second. I'm fixing to get our pork chops out, and we'll be ready to enjoy the fruits of our labor, y'all. Okay, we're ready to plate this up. I've got our macaroni salad back out of the fridge. It's gotten good and chilled. Doesn't that look good, y'all? I could eat this whole bowl. I'm not going to let myself do it, but I could. Obviously within a few days. I'm going to try to get a hold of my aunt and have her come get some of it for sure. Okay, we got that, and then here's our broccoli. I love this. Now I will eat all this, not today, but I will. I love broccoli and cheese. I can eat it just by itself. Now I cooked these with the sauce on there uncovered. I just popped that foil back on there to hold that heat in after I got them out. And y'all, these are just completely falling apart. So I'm gonna have to bring my bowl over here to get one out. Let's see. Let's get this one. Let's see. Let me get me a spoon. Get some of that, drizzle some of that sauce over the top. But y'all see what I mean? How they're not in like a real thick, like barbecue sauce. It kind of has more of a texture of like a pan sauce instead of like a real thick sauce. You see, and they're kind of caramelized. That's how I like. That's how I like. If I eat anything with barbecue, that's how I like for it to be. I don't know what I want to taste first. I think the broccoli, because I hadn't even had any of it yet. Let's see here. I always look up and notice that this phone is just crooked as I don't know what. I don't know if y'all can tell it on the screen. Yep, that garlic salt was the perfect choice. That just set it off right there. This is delicious. And just something so simple, but so good. Try our macaroni salad now that it's cooled off. Absolutely perfect. Now let me show y'all how this pork chop does. You just take your fork like this, and you can just pull you a piece off of there. See that? I haven't had these in a while, and they always hit the spot when I do have them. Delicious. All right, y'all. It's all so good. I'm so glad to have y'all hanging out with me while I made this meal. I know it probably seems like I've been cooking forever, but I haven't. I've just stopped the videos and done different ones. That way I wouldn't keep y'all on a big long one. So you can watch one or all of them or none of them. And that's how it is. So we got the one video where we prep the pork chops. We've got the macaroni salad. And then we have this one where we just did the second part of the pork chops and just made up our little broccoli and cheese and kind of put it all together. It come together as a delicious little meal, didn't it? Anyway, y'all, I'm going to have this, and I am tired. If y'all can't tell, I'm just tired tonight. My coffee's already wore off. Anyway, I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.